Let's get ready for the Indiana real estate exam with 100 questions covering key state laws, principles, and practices you'll need to know. And keep an eye on the bottom corner. There's something there that could make a big difference in your prep. We'll tell you how to use it in just a minute. Now, let's get started.
Let's review some basic Indiana real estate licensing requirements and procedures. Indiana broker licensing requirements and procedures. What is the minimum age requirement to obtain a real estate broker license in Indiana? Is it A, 16 years old, B, 18 years old, C, 21 years old, or D, 25 years old? The answer is B, 18 years old. To qualify for a real estate broker license in Indiana, applicants must be at least 18 years old. This requirement ensures that individuals have reached the age of majority, allowing them to enter into legal contracts. Which of the following is a requirement for maintaining an active Indiana broker license? Is it A, 12 hours of continuing education annually, B, no continuing education required, C, renewal every 10 years, or D, passing a new licensing exam every 5 years? The answer is A, 12 hours of continuing education annually. Indiana requires brokers to complete 12 hours of continuing education annually to maintain their license. This ensures that brokers stay informed about industry changes and maintain professional standards.
Notice the code in the corner. When you're stumped by a question, enter it at Birdsy.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
What is the application fee for an Indiana broker license as of 2025? Is it A, $30, B, $45, C, $50, or D, $60? The answer is D, $60. The application fee for an Indiana broker license is $60. This fee is required to process the application and is a standard part of the licensing procedure. Indiana managing broker licensing requirements. What is the minimum age requirement to apply for an Indiana managing broker license? Is it A, 16 years old, B, 18 years old, C, 21 years old, or D, 25 years old? The answer is B, 18 years old. Applicants must be at least 18 years old to qualify for an Indiana managing broker license. This requirement ensures that individuals have reached the age of majority and can legally enter into contracts. How many hours of approved education must an applicant complete to qualify for the Indiana managing broker license? Is it A, 12 hours, B, 36 hours, C, 48 hours, or D, 24 hours? The answer is D, 24 hours. Applicants must complete 24 hours of approved managing broker education courses. This education is designed to provide advanced knowledge and skills necessary for managing real estate operations. Which of the following is a prerequisite for obtaining an Indiana managing broker license? Is it A, owning a real estate firm, B, passing a national real estate exam, C, having an active broker license for 2 years, or D, completing a 40-hour internship? The answer is C, having an active broker license for 2 years. To qualify for a managing broker license, applicants must hold an active Indiana broker license for at least 2 years. This experience ensures they have practical knowledge of the real estate industry. What is the renewal period for an Indiana managing broker license? Is it A, every 3 years, B, every 5 years, C, annually, or D, every 2 years? The answer is A, every 3 years. Indiana managing broker licenses must be renewed every 3 years. This ensures that brokers remain up to date with industry practices and changes in real estate law. Continuing education and renewal requirements. What is the minimum number of continuing education hours required for real estate license renewal in Indiana? Is it A, 8 hours, B, 10 hours, C, 12 hours, or D, 15 hours? The answer is C, 12 hours. In Indiana, real estate licensees must complete 12 hours of continuing education each year to renew their licenses. This requirement ensures that professionals stay updated with industry changes and maintain their competency. Which of the following is a core topic required in Indiana's continuing education for real estate professionals? Is it A, legal updates, B, commercial real estate trends, C, real estate technology, or D, real estate marketing strategies? The answer is A, legal updates. Indiana requires real estate professionals to cover core topics such as legal updates, ethics, and agency relationships as part of their continuing education to ensure adherence to industry standards and legal compliance. How often must Indiana real estate licensees renew their licenses? Is it A, annually, B, every 2 years, C, every 3 years, or D, every 5 years? The answer is B, every 2 years. Indiana real estate licenses must be renewed every 2 years. This biennial renewal cycle helps ensure that licensees remain up to date with continuing education and industry standards. What is the consequence of failing to complete the required continuing education in Indiana? Is it A, a fine, B, suspension of license, C, revocation of license, or D, inactive status? The answer is D, inactive status. Failure to complete the required continuing education can lead to a license being placed on inactive status. This prevents the licensee from legally practicing real estate until the requirement is fulfilled.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsy.
Indiana-specific exam structure and content. What is the primary focus of the Indiana-specific portion of the real estate licensing exam? Is it A, federal real estate laws, B, general real estate practices, C, Indiana real estate laws and regulations, or D, marketing strategies for real estate? The answer is C, Indiana real estate laws and regulations. The Indiana-specific portion of the exam focuses on state-specific real estate laws and regulations. This includes understanding the legal framework and procedures unique to Indiana, which is crucial for compliance and practice. What is the time limit for completing the Indiana-specific portion of the real estate licensing exam? Is it A, 60 minutes, B, 75 minutes, C, 90 minutes, or D, 120 minutes? The answer is C, 90 minutes. The Indiana-specific portion of the real estate licensing exam typically allows candidates a set time to complete. This ensures that applicants demonstrate their knowledge efficiently under exam conditions. What is the passing score for the Indiana real estate licensing exam? Is it A, 75%, B, 70%, C, 80%, or D, 85%? The answer is A, 75%. The passing score for the Indiana real estate licensing exam is 75%. This ensures that candidates have a sufficient understanding of the material to practice real estate effectively. Now let's take a look at some Indiana real estate laws and regulations. Indiana-specific fair housing laws. Which of the following actions is prohibited under Indiana's fair housing laws? Is it A, offering discounts to first-time homebuyers, B, refusing to rent to someone based on their national origin, C, providing different rental terms based on income level, or D, advertising properties in multiple languages? The answer is B, refusing to rent to someone based on their national origin. Indiana's fair housing laws prohibit discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, disability, familial status, and national origin in housing-related transactions. Under Indiana fair housing laws, which characteristic is not considered a protected class? Is it A, race, B, disability, C, age, or D, familial status? The answer is C, age. Indiana fair housing laws protect against discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, disability, familial status, and national origin. Age is not a protected class under these laws. What is the legal implication for a landlord who discriminates against a tenant due to familial status in Indiana? Is it A, they can face legal action and fines, B, they may be required to provide additional amenities, C, they can legally terminate the lease, or D, they are allowed to increase rent? The answer is A, they can face legal action and fines. Discrimination based on familial status is illegal under Indiana's fair housing laws, and landlords can face legal action, fines, and damages if found guilty. How does Indiana law address discrimination in advertising for housing? Is it A, allows preference statements if they are factual, B, permits selective advertising based on community demographics, C, requires inclusion of all amenities in the advertisement, or D, prohibits discriminatory language or implications? The answer is D, prohibits discriminatory language or implications. Indiana law prohibits discriminatory language in housing advertisements, ensuring all communications are free from bias related to protected classes like race, religion, and familial status. What is required by Indiana law for a real estate advertisement to avoid discrimination claims? Is it A, include the term family-friendly, B, specify age restrictions, C, avoid language suggesting preference for certain groups, or D, highlight proximity to religious institutions? The answer is C, avoid language suggesting preference for certain groups. Indiana law mandates that real estate advertisements must not suggest a preference or limitation based on protected characteristics. Such ads must be inclusive and non-discriminatory to comply with fair housing standards. Indiana-specific contract requirements. What is required for a real estate contract to be legally enforceable in Indiana? Is it A, the contract must be in writing and signed by both parties, B, the contract must be notarized, C, the contract must be filed with the county recorder, or D, the contract must include a witness signature? The answer is A, the contract must be in writing and signed by both parties. In Indiana, a real estate contract must be in writing, signed by both parties, and include essential terms such as the property description, price, and payment terms to be enforceable. Which of the following is true about earnest money deposits in Indiana real estate contracts? Is it A, it must be non-refundable, B, it must be paid directly to the seller, C, it must be deposited in a trust or escrow account, or D, it must be a minimum of 5% of the purchase price? The answer is C, it must be deposited in a trust or escrow account. Earnest money must be deposited in a trust or escrow account according to Indiana real estate law, ensuring the funds are properly managed until the transaction is completed or terminated. In Indiana, what is the statute of limitations for filing a lawsuit regarding a breach of real estate contract? Is it A, 3 years, B, 6 years, C, 10 years, or D, 1 year? The answer is B, 6 years. The statute of limitations for breach of contract in Indiana is generally 6 years, meaning a lawsuit must be filed within this period from the date of breach. Which of the following disclosures is mandatory in Indiana real estate transactions? Is it A, lead-based paint disclosure for all homes. B. Flood zone disclosure for all properties. C. Radon gas disclosure for all homes. Or D. Seller's residential real estate sales disclosure form. The answer is D. Seller's residential real estate sales disclosure form. Indiana law mandates sellers to provide a seller's residential real estate sales disclosure form detailing property conditions and known defects to buyers before closing. Which of the following is a requirement for a valid real estate contract in Indiana? Is it A. Only verbal agreement? B. Consideration is not necessary? C. Offer and acceptance? Or D. Presence of a witness? The answer is C. Offer and acceptance. A valid real estate contract in Indiana must include an offer, acceptance, consideration, and legal capacity. Without these elements, the contract may not be enforceable under Indiana law. Overview of Indiana real estate license law. What is the minimum age requirement to obtain a real estate license in Indiana? Is it A. 16 years old? B. 18 years old? C. 21 years old? Or D. 25 years old? The answer is B. 18 years old. Indiana requires individuals to be at least 18 years old to apply for a real estate license. This ensures that applicants are legally adults and capable of entering binding contracts. Which entity is responsible for issuing real estate licenses in Indiana? Is it A. Indiana Department of Revenue? B. Indiana Department of Education? C. Indiana Real Estate Commission? Or D. Indiana Secretary of State? The answer is C. Indiana Real Estate Commission. The Indiana Real Estate Commission is responsible for issuing licenses, ensuring compliance with state laws, and maintaining standards within the real estate industry. How many hours of pre-licensing education are required for a real estate salesperson in Indiana? Is it A. 90 hours? B. 60 hours? C. 120 hours? Or D. 150 hours? The answer is A. 90 hours. Indiana requires 90 hours of approved pre-licensing education to ensure that applicants have a comprehensive understanding of real estate laws and practices before obtaining a license. What is the purpose of the Indiana Real Estate Recovery Fund? Is it A. to provide scholarships for real estate students? B. to finance real estate development projects? C. to support real estate licensees in financial distress? Or D. to compensate consumers for financial losses from licensee fraud? The answer is D. to compensate consumers for financial losses from licensee fraud. The Indiana Real Estate Recovery Fund compensates consumers who suffer financial losses due to the fraudulent actions of a licensed real estate professional, providing a safety net for the public. Let's continue with Indiana property ownership and land use. Types of property ownership, e.g. fee simple, leasehold, joint tenancy. Which type of property ownership grants the most complete ownership rights in Indiana? Is it A. fee simple? B. leasehold? C. joint tenancy? Or D. tenancy in common? The answer is A. fee simple. Fee simple ownership provides the holder with the most comprehensive set of rights to use, sell, or lease the property, subject to local laws and regulations. What distinguishes joint tenancy from tenancy in common in Indiana property ownership? Is it A. equal ownership shares? B. right of survivorship? C. ability to transfer ownership? Or D. joint liability for debts? The answer is B. right of survivorship. Joint tenancy includes the right of survivorship, meaning if one owner dies, their share automatically passes to the surviving owners, unlike tenancy in common. In Indiana, which property ownership type allows a tenant to occupy a property for a specified period without owning it? Is it A. fee simple? B. joint tenancy? C. Leasehold, or D. Tenancy in common? The answer is C. Leasehold. Leasehold estates provide the tenant with the right to use and occupy a property for a fixed term without transferring ownership rights. How does tenancy in common differ from other forms of property ownership in Indiana? Is it A. Requires equal shares, B. Includes right of survivorship, C. Prevents transfer of interest, or D. Allows unequal shares? The answer is D. Allows unequal shares. Tenancy in common allows co-owners to hold unequal shares and freely transfer their interest, unlike joint tenancy, which typically involves equal shares and right of survivorship.
Stuck on a question? Just think of the Birdsy link in the description as your friendly neighborhood superhero, swooping in to save the day with answers. Feel free to explore it now and return to continue. Simply hit pause, and we'll be waiting when you get back.
Public versus private land use controls. Which of the following is a characteristic of public land use controls in Indiana? Is it A. They are voluntary guidelines, B. They are set by private landowners, C. They include zoning laws, or D. They are unregulated by government entities? The answer is C. They include zoning laws. Public land use controls are regulations imposed by government entities to guide the development and use of land. They include zoning laws, building codes, and environmental regulations. What is the primary purpose of zoning laws in Indiana? Is it A. To regulate land use and development, B. To increase land taxes, C. To promote private ownership, or D. To eliminate all public spaces? The answer is A. To regulate land use and development. Zoning laws are designed to organize urban development by dividing land into zones where certain land uses are permitted or prohibited. This helps manage growth and protect property values. In Indiana, who typically enforces private land use controls such as covenants and restrictions? Is it A. Local government agencies, B. Homeowners associations, C. State police, or D. The federal government? The answer is B. Homeowners associations. Private land use controls like covenants and restrictions are typically enforced by homeowners associations or the parties to the agreement, ensuring compliance with agreed-upon terms. What distinguishes a variance from a special use permit in Indiana zoning regulations? Is it A. A variance is temporary, while a special use permit is permanent, B. A variance is for residential zones only, C. A special use permit applies to all properties in a zone, or D. A variance allows deviation from zoning laws, while a special use permit allows specific exceptions? The answer is D. A variance allows deviation from zoning laws, while a special use permit allows specific exceptions. A variance allows deviation from zoning requirements due to unique property conditions, while a special use permit allows a specific exception to zoning laws, typically for uses not otherwise permitted in the zone. Land use and zoning laws. What is the primary purpose of zoning laws in Indiana? Is it A. To increase property taxes, B. To regulate land use and development, C. To enforce building codes, or D. To allocate government funding? The answer is B. To regulate land use and development. Zoning laws in Indiana are designed to regulate land use, ensuring orderly development and segregation of incompatible uses. This helps maintain community character and property values. Which zoning classification would most likely be used for a shopping mall in Indiana? Is it A. Residential, B. Industrial, C. Commercial, or D. Agricultural? The answer is C. Commercial. Commercial zoning is typically designated for areas intended for business activities, such as retail, offices, and shopping malls, to support economic growth and community needs. Under Indiana zoning laws, what is a variance? Is it A, an exception to zoning regulations, B, a type of zoning classification, C, a temporary zoning measure, or D, a zoning enforcement action? The answer is A, an exception to zoning regulations. A variance is a legal exception to zoning regulations granted to a property owner, allowing them to use land in a way not typically permitted by the current zoning laws. What is the role of a zoning board of appeals in Indiana? Is it A, to create new zoning laws, B, to enforce building codes, C, to manage land sales, or D, to hear appeals on zoning decisions? The answer is D, to hear appeals on zoning decisions. The Zoning Board of Appeals reviews requests for variances and special exceptions, ensuring decisions align with community plans and zoning laws, maintaining balance between individual and community interests. Condominiums HOAs. In Indiana, what is the primary responsibility of a homeowners association in a condominium community? Is it A, maintenance and management of common areas, B, collecting individual property taxes, C, setting individual property insurance rates, or D, enforcing state building codes? The answer is A, maintenance and management of common areas. An HOA in Indiana is responsible for the maintenance and management of common areas in a condominium community. This ensures shared spaces are well kept, enhancing property value and resident satisfaction. Which document typically outlines the rules and regulations for residents in an Indiana condominium? Is it A, deed of trust, B, declaration of covenants, conditions, and restrictions, C, property tax statement, or D, lease agreement? The answer is B, declaration of covenants, conditions, and restrictions. The Declaration of Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions outlines the rules for residents, including use restrictions and maintenance obligations, ensuring uniformity and harmony within the community. What is a common financial obligation of condominium owners in Indiana? Is it A, personal property tax, B, mortgage insurance premiums, C, homeowners association dues, or D, home appraisal fees? The answer is C, homeowners association dues. Condominium owners in Indiana typically pay monthly or quarterly HOA dues. These dues cover maintenance of common areas, utilities, and other shared community expenses. How are decisions typically made within an Indiana condominium association? Is it A, by the property management company, B, through state government mandates, C, by individual unit owners independently, or D, by the board of directors elected by unit owners? The answer is D, by the board of directors elected by unit owners. Condominium associations in Indiana typically make decisions through a board of directors elected by the unit owners. This board acts on behalf of the community, ensuring proper governance. Environmental issues and agricultural land use. What is the primary purpose of Indiana's agricultural land easement program? Is it A, to increase urban development, B, to encourage industrial growth, C, to preserve farmland for agricultural use, or D, to promote tourism in rural areas? The answer is C, to preserve farmland for agricultural use. The Agricultural Land Easement Program in Indiana aims to protect agricultural lands from being converted to non-agricultural uses, ensuring the preservation of farmland for future generations. Which of the following best describes a conservation easement in Indiana? Is it A, a temporary lease for agricultural use, B, a permanent restriction on land use for conservation, C, a government mandate for urban development, or D, a tax incentive for residential property owners? The answer is B, a permanent restriction on land use for conservation. A conservation easement is a legal agreement that restricts land use to protect its conservation values, often used to protect natural resources and agricultural lands in Indiana. What environmental concern is most associated with agricultural land use in Indiana? Is it A, nutrient runoff, B, air pollution from machinery, C, forestation, or D, soil compaction? The answer is A, nutrient runoff. Nutrient runoff, particularly nitrogen and phosphorus, from agricultural lands in Indiana can lead to water pollution issues affecting local waterways and contributing to harmful algal blooms. How does Indiana's right to farm law affect property ownership adjacent to farms? Is it A, it restricts farm expansion, B, it mandates organic farming practices, C, it limits nuisance claims against farms, or D, it increases property taxes for farms? The answer is C, it limits nuisance claims against farms. Indiana's right to farm law protects agricultural operations from nuisance lawsuits, which can affect the rights and expectations of neighboring property owners, especially those new to rural areas.
Notice the code in the corner? When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsy.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
Let's test your understanding of Indiana agency law and ethics. Agency relationship laws and disclosures. In Indiana, which of the following is a duty owed by an agent to their client under agency law? Is it A, providing legal advice, B, loyalty, C, setting the sale price, or D, offering financing options? The answer is B, loyalty. In Indiana, agents owe fiduciary duties to their clients, including disclosure of material facts, loyalty, and confidentiality. These duties are essential to maintain trust and ensure fair representation. What is the primary purpose of agency disclosure in Indiana real estate transactions? Is it A, to increase the agent's commission, B, to simplify the transaction process, C, to inform parties of agency relationships, or D, to expedite closing procedures? The answer is C, to inform parties of agency relationships. Agency disclosure ensures that all parties are aware of the agency relationships and understand the duties owed by the agent. This transparency helps prevent conflicts of interest and promotes trust. Under Indiana law, what must an agent do if they discover a material defect in a property? Is it A, ignore it if the client requests, B, repair the defect, C, report it to the state, or D, disclose it to potential buyers? The answer is D, disclose it to potential buyers. Agents in Indiana are required to disclose any known material defects in a property to potential buyers. This duty is part of the agent's obligation to provide full disclosure and maintain transparency. Which of the following actions is considered a breach of fiduciary duty by an agent in Indiana? Is it A, engaging in self-dealing, B, providing market analysis, C, communicating offers promptly, or D, advertising the property? The answer is A, engaging in self-dealing. Self-dealing, where an agent acts in their own interest rather than the client's, constitutes a breach of fiduciary duty. It violates the principles of loyalty and trust essential to agency relationships. Fiduciary duties and client representation. Which of the following is a primary fiduciary duty owed by an Indiana real estate agent to their client? Is it A, duty of compensation, B, duty of loyalty, C, duty of disclosure, or D, duty of marketing? The answer is B, duty of loyalty. In Indiana, the duty of loyalty requires agents to act in the best interest of their clients, avoiding conflicts of interest and prioritizing the client's needs above their own interests. In Indiana, What is a real estate agent's duty when representing a seller in a transaction? Is it A, to ensure the highest sale price? B, to negotiate only with serious buyers? C, to disclose all known material facts? Or D, to provide personal opinions on property value? The answer is C, to disclose all known material facts. Agents must disclose all known material facts about the property to potential buyers to ensure informed decision-making, which is crucial for maintaining transparency and trust in transactions. What action should an Indiana real estate agent take if they discover a conflict of interest while representing a client? Is it A, disclose the conflict to the client immediately? B, ignore the conflict if it benefits the client? C, terminate the client relationship? Or D, resolve the conflict without informing the client? The answer is A, disclose the conflict to the client immediately. Agents must promptly disclose any conflicts of interest to their clients, allowing the client to make informed decisions about continuing the relationship or seeking alternatives. How should an Indiana real estate agent handle confidential information provided by a client? Is it A, share it with potential buyers to expedite the sale? B, use it to gain a competitive advantage? C, store it securely but disclose if beneficial? Or D, keep it confidential unless legally required to disclose? The answer is D, keep it confidential unless legally required to disclose. Confidentiality is a critical fiduciary duty, requiring agents to protect client information and not disclose it without permission, ensuring trust and privacy throughout the transaction process. Indiana Ethics Guidelines and Enforcement. What is the primary purpose of the Indiana Ethics Guidelines in real estate practice? Is it A, to increase real estate sales? B, to provide marketing strategies? C, to ensure ethical conduct and protect public interest? Or D, to establish commission rates? The answer is C, to ensure ethical conduct and protect public interest. The Indiana Ethics Guidelines aim to ensure that all real estate professionals act with integrity, transparency, and fairness to protect the interests of clients and the public, fostering trust in the profession. Which of the following actions could lead to disciplinary action under Indiana's real estate ethics enforcement? Is it A, offering a property at a competitive price? B, misrepresenting property details? C, using professional photography? Or D, holding open houses? The answer is B, misrepresenting property details. Misrepresentation of property details can lead to disciplinary action as it violates the ethical obligation to provide accurate and truthful information to clients and the public. In Indiana, what is required of a real estate agent when dealing with a conflict of interest? Is it A, full disclosure to all parties involved? B, ignoring the conflict? C, resolving the conflict privately? Or D, consulting only with their broker? The answer is A, full disclosure to all parties involved. Agents must disclose any conflicts of interest to all parties involved. Transparency is crucial to maintain trust and uphold ethical standards in real estate transactions. What is the role of the Indiana Real Estate Commission in enforcing ethical guidelines? Is it A, setting real estate prices? B, providing marketing resources? C, offering legal advice? Or D, investigating complaints and imposing discipline? The answer is D, investigating complaints and imposing discipline. The Indiana Real Estate Commission enforces ethical guidelines by investigating complaints, conducting hearings, and imposing disciplinary actions to ensure compliance and maintain professional standards. Let's continue with a review of Indiana property valuation. Basic principles of property valuation. Which of the following is a primary factor influencing the market value of a property in Indiana? Is it A, roof condition, B, interior paint color, C, location, or D, garden size? The answer is C, location. Location is a crucial determinant of property value, affecting accessibility, desirability, and potential for growth. Factors like neighborhood amenities and proximity to services also play significant roles. What is the principle of substitution in property valuation? Is it A, the cost of building a similar property, B, the value is determined by comparable properties, C, the future income potential, or D, the historic cost of the property? The answer is B, the value is determined by comparable properties. The principle of substitution states that a property's value is influenced by the cost of acquiring an equally desirable substitute property. It's a fundamental concept in appraising real estate. How does the principle of highest and best use affect property valuation? Is it A, it determines the most profitable use of the property, B, it limits the property's use to residential purposes, C, it bases value on historical uses, or D, it focuses on the current use of the property? The answer is A, it determines the most profitable use of the property. The principle of highest and best use suggests that a property's value is maximized when it is used in a way that is legally permissible, physically possible, financially feasible, and maximally productive. What role does the principle of conformity play in property valuation? Is it A, it encourages diverse property styles, B, it focuses on unique property features, C, it limits property size variations, or D, it promotes harmony with surrounding properties? The answer is D, it promotes harmony with surrounding properties. The principle of conformity holds that property values are optimized when the property is in harmony with its surroundings, promoting uniformity and stability in neighborhoods.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Sales comparison, cost, and income approaches. Which approach to property valuation is most commonly used for residential properties in Indiana? Is it A, cost approach, B, sales comparison approach, C, income approach, or D, market approach? The answer is B, sales comparison approach. The sales comparison approach is typically used for residential properties because it relies on comparing the property in question to similar properties that have recently sold in the area. In the cost approach to property valuation, which component accounts for the decrease in value due to wear and tear? Is it A, land value, B, replacement cost, C, depreciation, or D, market adjustment? The answer is C, depreciation. Depreciation accounts for the decrease in property value due to physical deterioration, functional obsolescence, or external factors affecting the property. What is the main factor considered in the income approach to property valuation? Is it A, comparative sales, B, construction costs, C, depreciation, or D, potential income? The answer is D, potential income. The income approach focuses on the potential income a property can generate, using methods like capitalization rates to convert income into a present value estimate. When using the sales comparison approach, which factor is crucial for selecting comparable properties? Is it A, location, B, age of property, C, owner's history, or D, number of rooms? The answer is A, location. Location is crucial as it directly impacts property value. Comparable properties should be in the same or similar neighborhoods to ensure accurate valuation. Now let's review Indiana real estate financing. Mortgage loans and financing options. What is the primary purpose of a mortgage in Indiana? Is it A, to secure a loan using property as collateral? B, to increase the property's market value? C, to reduce property taxes? Or D, to ensure property insurance coverage? The answer is A, to secure a loan using property as collateral. A mortgage is a legal agreement by which a lender provides a borrower with funds to purchase real estate, with the property serving as collateral. This ensures the lender's protection in case of default. Which type of mortgage allows for a fixed interest rate over the entire loan term in Indiana? Is it A, adjustable rate mortgage? B, fixed rate mortgage? C, interest-only mortgage? Or D, balloon mortgage? The answer is B, fixed rate mortgage. A fixed rate mortgage maintains the same interest rate throughout the loan's life, providing predictable monthly payments. This is beneficial for budgeting and long-term planning. Which financing option is typically available to Indiana veterans seeking to purchase a home? Is it A, conventional loan? B, Federal Housing Administration, FHA loan? C, U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, VA loan? Or D, U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA loan? The answer is C, U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, VA loan. VA loans are government-backed loans available to veterans, offering benefits like no down payment and competitive interest rates, specifically designed to aid veterans in homeownership. What is a key feature of an adjustable rate mortgage in Indiana? Is it A, fixed monthly payments? B, initial higher interest rate? C, no interest rate changes? Or D, variable interest rate? The answer is D, variable interest rate. An ARM features an interest rate that can change periodically, usually in relation to an index, which means monthly payments can increase or decrease over time, affecting affordability. Loan applications and approval processes. What is the primary purpose of a loan estimate in Indiana's loan application process? Is it A, to provide a detailed breakdown of loan costs and features? B, to finalize the loan agreement between lender and borrower? C, to verify the borrower's credit score? Or D, to determine the property's value? The answer is A, to provide a detailed breakdown of loan costs and features. A loan estimate provides borrowers with detailed information about the key features, costs, and risks of the mortgage loan they are applying for. It is a standardized form that helps consumers compare different offers. Which document is required to be provided to the borrower within 3 business days of a loan application in Indiana? Is it A, closing disclosure? B, deed of trust? C, loan estimate? Or D, title insurance policy? The answer is C, loan estimate. The loan estimate is a mandatory document that must be provided to a borrower within 3 business days of receiving a loan application. It details the terms and estimated costs of the mortgage. In Indiana, which factor is not typically considered by lenders during the loan approval process? Is it A, credit score? B, personal interests? C, income level? Or D, employment history? The answer is B, personal interests. Lenders typically consider credit score, income, employment history, and debt-to-income ratio. Personal interests or hobbies are not relevant to financial capability and are not assessed. What is the significance of the debt-to-income ratio in Indiana's mortgage approval process? Is it A, it determines the interest rate offered by the lender? B, it is used to calculate property taxes owed? C, it predicts the future value of the property? Or D, it assesses the borrower's ability to manage monthly payments? The answer is D, it assesses the borrower's ability to manage monthly payments. The debt-to-income ratio is a measure of a borrower's ability to manage monthly payments and repay debts. It compares total monthly debt payments to gross monthly income influencing loan eligibility. Indiana mortgage disclosure requirements. What is the primary purpose of the Indiana mortgage disclosure requirements? Is it A, to increase mortgage rates, B, to ensure transparency in mortgage terms, C, to reduce the number of mortgage applications, or D, to benefit lenders exclusively? The answer is B, to ensure transparency in mortgage terms. The Indiana mortgage disclosure requirements are designed to ensure borrowers receive all necessary information about their mortgage terms, promoting transparency and informed decision-making in the mortgage process. Which document must lenders provide to borrowers under Indiana mortgage disclosure requirements? Is it A, credit report, B, deed of trust, C, loan estimate, or D, property appraisal? The answer is C, loan estimate. Lenders are required to provide a loan estimate, which details the terms of the mortgage, including interest rates and fees, to help borrowers make informed decisions. How long before closing must the closing disclosure be provided to the borrower in Indiana? Is it A, 3 business days, B, 1 week, C, 1 business day, or D, the day of closing? The answer is A, 3 business days. The closing disclosure must be provided at least 3 business days before closing, allowing borrowers time to review the final terms and costs of their mortgage. What is the consequence if a lender fails to comply with Indiana's mortgage disclosure requirements? Is it A, the borrower must pay a fine, B, the mortgage is automatically approved, C, the lender receives a warning, or D, the lender may face penalties and legal action? The answer is D, the lender may face penalties and legal action. Non-compliance can lead to penalties and legal action, as these requirements are legally binding to protect consumer rights in mortgage transactions. Indiana-specific loan programs. What is the primary purpose of the Indiana Hardest Hit Fund? Is it A, to provide mortgage payment assistance to homeowners facing financial hardships, B, to offer low-interest loans for first-time homebuyers, C, to fund property renovations for low-income families, or D, to subsidize rental housing for senior citizens? The answer is A, to provide mortgage payment assistance to homeowners facing financial hardships. The Indiana Hardest Hit Fund was established to provide mortgage payment assistance to homeowners facing financial hardships, particularly due to unemployment or underemployment, helping prevent foreclosures. Which Indiana-specific loan program is designed to assist veterans in purchasing homes? Is it A, Indiana First-Time Homebuyer Program, B, Indiana Veterans Home Loan Program, C, Indiana Rural Development Loan, or D, Indiana Down Payment Assistance Program? The answer is B, Indiana Veterans Home Loan Program. The Indiana Veterans Home Loan Program provides favorable terms and conditions to veterans, helping them purchase homes by offering benefits such as reduced interest rates and lower down payments. How does the Indiana Mortgage Credit Certificate Program benefit homeowners? Is it A, by offering lower interest rates on mortgages, B, by providing grants for home renovations, C, by reducing property taxes for eligible homeowners, or D, by allowing a tax credit for a portion of mortgage interest paid? The answer is D, by allowing a tax credit for a portion of mortgage interest paid. The Indiana MCC program allows homeowners to claim a tax credit for a portion of the mortgage interest they pay annually, reducing their federal tax liability and making homeownership more affordable. What is a key feature of the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority's Next Home program? Is it A, it is exclusive to first-time homebuyers, B, it provides interest-free loans for renovations, C, it offers down payment assistance to eligible buyers, Or D, it guarantees a fixed interest rate for 30 years? The answer is C. It offers down payment assistance to eligible buyers. The IHCDA's Next Home program offers down payment assistance to both first-time and repeat homebuyers, making it easier for them to purchase homes by reducing upfront costs. Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority. What is the primary purpose of the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority? Is it A, to regulate real estate agents in Indiana, B, to provide affordable housing and promote community development, C, to manage public transportation systems, or D, to oversee state education funding? The answer is B, to provide affordable housing and promote community development. The IHCDA's main goal is to provide affordable housing opportunities and promote economic development within Indiana. It accomplishes this through various programs and partnerships with local communities. Which program is offered by the IHCDA to assist first-time homebuyers in Indiana? Is it A, First Home, B, Energy Assistance Program, C, Rental Assistance Program, or D, Senior Housing Initiative? The answer is A, First Home. The First Home program provides down payment assistance and affordable mortgage options to first-time homebuyers, making homeownership more accessible for Indiana residents. How does the IHCDA support affordable rental housing development? Is it A, by providing direct rental subsidies to tenants, B, by offering grants to homebuyers, C, by allocating tax credits to developers, or D, by buying properties and renting them out? The answer is C, by allocating tax credits to developers. The IHCDA allocates tax credits to developers, which incentivizes the creation of affordable rental housing by reducing construction costs and increasing financial feasibility. Which of the following describes a key function of the IHCDA's Community Development Block Grant Program? Is it A, providing scholarships for higher education, B, offering tax incentives to large corporations, C, funding state highway construction, or D, revitalizing neighborhoods and improving infrastructure? The answer is D, revitalizing neighborhoods and improving infrastructure. The CDBG program funds local community projects aimed at revitalizing neighborhoods, improving infrastructure, and supporting economic development, thus enhancing the quality of life for residents. Let's continue with Indiana disclosure requirements and forms. Indiana-specific disclosure requirements. What is the primary purpose of the seller's residential real estate sales disclosure form in Indiana? Is it A, to inform buyers of known property defects, B, to appraise the property's market value, C, to negotiate the sale price, or D, to transfer property ownership? The answer is A, to inform buyers of known property defects. The seller's residential real estate sales disclosure form is designed to inform potential buyers of known defects in the property, ensuring transparency and reducing the risk of future disputes. Which of the following is not typically required on the Indiana seller's disclosure form? Is it A, presence of hazardous materials, B, structural defects, C, boundary disputes, or D, seller's financial history? The answer is D, seller's financial history. The Indiana seller's disclosure form requires information on property defects and legal issues, but not the seller's financial history, which is irrelevant to property condition disclosure. When must the seller's disclosure form be provided to a potential buyer in Indiana? Is it A, after the purchase agreement is signed, B, before the purchase agreement is signed, C, at the closing of the transaction, or D, only if the buyer requests it? The answer is B, before the purchase agreement is signed. The seller's disclosure form must be provided to a potential buyer before the purchase agreement is signed to ensure the buyer is aware of any known issues with the property. Which entity is responsible for enforcing compliance with Indiana's real estate disclosure laws? Is it A, Indiana Department of Revenue, B, Indiana State Police, C, Indiana Real Estate Commission, or D, Indiana Department of Natural Resources? The answer is C, Indiana Real Estate Commission. The Indiana Real Estate Commission oversees the enforcement of real estate disclosure laws to ensure that sellers comply with legal requirements and maintain transparency in real estate transactions. Commonly used Indiana forms. Which Indiana form is used to disclose the presence of a methamphetamine lab on a property? Is it A, Indiana Seller's Residential Real Estate Sales Disclosure Form, B, Lead-Based Paint Disclosure Form, C, Indiana Methamphetamine Lab Disclosure Form, or D, Indiana Environmental Hazard Disclosure Form? The answer is C, Indiana Methamphetamine Lab Disclosure Form. The Indiana Methamphetamine Lab Disclosure Form is required to inform potential buyers of any known meth lab activity on the property, ensuring transparency and safety in real estate transactions. What is the purpose of the Indiana Seller's Residential Real Estate Sales Disclosure Form? Is it A, to estimate the property's market value, B, to disclose the property's known defects and conditions, C, to transfer property ownership, or D, to set the terms of the sale? The answer is B, to disclose the property's known defects and conditions. The form is designed to provide potential buyers with information about the property's condition, helping them make informed decisions and protecting sellers from future liability claims. When must the lead-based paint disclosure form be provided in Indiana real estate transactions? Is it A, before the purchase agreement is signed, B, after the home inspection, C, at the closing meeting, or D, after the appraisal is completed? The answer is A, before the purchase agreement is signed. The form must be provided before the purchase agreement is signed for homes built before 1978, ensuring buyers are aware of potential lead hazards. Which form is used in Indiana to inform buyers about the presence of a homeowners association? Is it A, Property Condition Disclosure Form, B, Environmental Hazards Disclosure Form, C, Seller's Residential Real Estate Sales Disclosure Form, or D, Homeowners Association Addendum? The answer is D, Homeowners Association Addendum. The Homeowners Association Addendum provides buyers with details about the HOA, including fees and regulations, ensuring they are aware of obligations and restrictions. Specific procedures for transactions. What is the primary purpose of the Indiana Residential Real Estate Sales Disclosure Form? Is it A, to inform buyers of known property defects, B, to provide a valuation of the property, C, to outline the terms of the sale, or D, to verify the buyer's financial status? The answer is A, to inform buyers of known property defects. The Indiana Residential Real Estate Sales Disclosure Form is designed to inform potential buyers of any known defects or issues with the property, ensuring transparency and compliance with state regulations. Which party is responsible for completing the Indiana Residential Real Estate Sales Disclosure Form? Is it A, the real estate agent, B, the seller, C, the buyer, or D, the home inspector? The answer is B, the seller. In Indiana, it is the seller's responsibility to complete the disclosure form. This ensures that buyers receive accurate information about the property's condition from the owner. What must a seller disclose about a property's water supply system in Indiana? Is it A, the water bill amount, B, the type of water filtration system, C, any known defects or issues, or D, the water usage history? The answer is C, any known defects or issues. Sellers are required to disclose any known issues with the water supply system, such as leaks or contamination, to ensure buyers are aware of potential problems that could affect their health or property value. When must the Indiana Residential Real Estate Sales Disclosure Form be provided to the buyer? Is it A, after the closing date, B, during the home inspection, C, after the buyer's offer is accepted, or D, before the buyer makes an offer? The answer is D, before the buyer makes an offer. The disclosure form must be provided before the buyer makes an offer. This allows the buyer to make an informed decision based on the property's condition and any known defects.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit Birdsy.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsy, your AI-powered study partner.